Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I'm going to be talking about the very best value knives ranging anywhere from about $50 all the way up to around $300. This is a question that I get asked constantly. What's the best knife that I can actually buy right now under $100, under $150, etc.? I actually did a whole series of videos and they're still available to watch in my top 5 and top 10 playlist. This was a while back, like top 10 knives under 300, top 10 knives under 250, etc., all the way down to the budget territory. Those videos are outdated, and they also include knives that you can't get right now. So I thought it might be a good idea to update them, but instead of doing a bunch of individual videos, I've actually combined all of those price ranges into one video. For each individual price range, I'll tell you guys what I think the best value knife is, and then I'll give you anywhere from 3 to 5 alternatives so that we can keep this moving and do it all at the same time. This list is actually based on knives that you can get right now. I don't want to have sprint runs and exclusives and stuff that's like gone, right? That's frustrating. So that stuff is left out. It's also based on knives that I have actually handled and reviewed on this channel. Every knife that's on this list, you can go back in my channel and find, watch my full review, me handling it and coming to what, the conclusions that I came to, which it's all going to be really, really good. Value to me is not just it has M390 in titanium because materials automatically equal value. No, I consider country of origin, fit and finish, function, all of that stuff. So just because it has good materials does not automatically make it a good value in my book. So keep that in mind as we move on here. Thanks so much to my generous patrons who are supporting me right now. There's a link for Patreon right down below, and please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. All of these knives will be listed in order right down in the description so that you can take a look whenever you want. Like I said, if you want more information on any of these individual models, this video is not a review for each model. You'll need to go back and check out my individual reviews for them. For under 50, this is pretty easy. People who have been hanging around in the knife world for the last year or so are going to be calling it out, screaming in front of their TV, their phone screens. That's going to be the QSP Penguin in D2, coming in at about $30. Unbelievable value, micarta and D2 for 30 bucks. This is an excellent knife. Alongside that, nothing crazy here, no big surprise. I'm going to say that the Civivi Ortus and the CJRB Rhea are also excellent choices. The Rhea coming in at about $38, the Civivi Ortus coming in somewhere between $40 and $45. I could be wrong about the prices, and they're going to change a little bit as we progress forward in time. So these are going to be kind of ranges, but all of these are great. Excellent value. These are all knives that are manufactured in China. It's kind of hard to beat China at this price range, but yeah, if you're looking for an inexpensive knife that's made really, really well, any of these three, there are a bajillion choices, but these to me stand head and shoulders above the competition right now. Let's move on here to under $100. The best value knife under $100. I have kept this opinion for so long on this channel, and it's still, in my book, has not been beaten. That's going to be the Cold Steel American Lawman, coming in at about 90 to 95. It depends on maybe where you buy it, right? Something around there. If you pick one up for 95 bucks, I'd say you got just fine of a deal, right? S35EN G10, and this is a triad lock. Yeah, this is one of the greatest folding knives of all time. It's one of the best value knives, period. Even amidst this entire list, the American Lawman is incredible. Alongside that, two fantastic alternatives. The American-made Kershaw Bare Knuckle, because believe it or not, if you don't know, the American Lawman is actually made in Taiwan. The American Kershaw Bare Knuckle in 14C28N. Ooh, yes, very nice. Non-assisted manual flipper from Kershaw with 6061 T6 aluminum. Excellent, excellent knife. And then also the titanium QSP Penguin. This is the upgraded version of the one that was listed as the best knife under 50. This is 154 cm in titanium, and it's a frame lock instead of a liner lock. This is excellent at about $98 if you really want that titanium frame lock kind of thing. It's really, this is hard to argue with, right? I mean, even though it's manufactured in China, right? It's still unbelievably inexpensive, even considering where it's made and how good of a knife that it actually is. So I'm going to include that one on there as one of the best values under $100. Moving on here to under $150. Absolutely. Now that they have finally, and this should be the case, If you go to Blade HQ and pick this knife up, you should be getting this steel, the Spyderco Para 3 G10 in S45VN. They have upgraded this steel from S30V, which is fine. S30V is fine, but it was like they were bumping the price on us without changing anything from the original design. This is a US-made knife, S45VN, substantially better corrosion resistance than S30V. Not that S30V was bad, but way better corrosion resistance. And then your edge retention, your toughness, and your ease of sharpening are all relatively the same. So you're just basically getting a bonus in corrosion resistance, which is good in most working environments. That's great. What are these? 140 something? Yeah, that's my opinion on best value there. Alongside that knife, one that won't be a surprise, that's going to be the Ritter Hogue Mini RSK MK1 G2. This is a Knife Works exclusive, so that's where you'll have to go. I'll have it linked down below. M390 and G10, these come in at also about 140 something, $144 or something like that. US made, smaller version of the larger RSK. Incredible. US made, really, really great, right? If you want a smaller knife, that's awesome. By the way, I don't always have the perfect size range. It's not like a perfect, like there's a big knife and a small knife in every category. It's just, this is what I think, gut instinct, right? The other alternative, which I think might come as a surprise to you, but just because of its sheer capability, that's going to be the Cold Steel Formax Scout. Oh, it's just injection mold plastic and AUS 10A, right? Listen, this thing is arguably Cold Steel's most capable knife. Triad lock, AUS 10A, which isn't bad. Edge retention somewhere around between VG10 and 154 cm, but easy to sharpen, very tough and corrosion resistant, a stainless steel, right? Triad lock, ultra beefy. This is a knife that can pretty much do anything. You know, you don't need to upgrade to the G10 and S35VN or G10 and 20CV version of this knife to have a knife that is pretty much as capable as you could possibly want for a folding knife. So at $120, yeah, it's hard for me to argue with the value just because it's so capable. Use it as a shovel if you need to, right? Or a pry bar. They're not going to cover it if you break it, but good luck breaking it, seriously. The Formax Scout, I think, is an incredible value at under $150. There are other great knives, by the way, in each of these price ranges, guys, but this is my opinion on value right now. Under $200, absolute no contest. The Ritter Hogue RSK MK1 G2 at $160. The larger version, versus, you know, the smaller one was in the last price range. Yeah, M390 G10 and incredible fit and finish. It's just, this is still a better Benchmade Griptilian, and still, considering this is a US made knife, you can't beat this thing. It's just too good. It's one of the best knives right alongside the American Lawman from Cold Steel. It's one of the best value knives, all things considered, that exists. Easily the best knife under $200 out there. So that's Knives Plus exclusive. This is a larger guy, so you'll have to go there if you want to get that. They still come in two colors, at least two colors. Alongside that, I think a good alternative is, of course, the Spyderco PM2, now that one has also been upgraded to S45VN, the production version. Those are about $156 or so. Yeah, absolutely US made. And then also the Benchmade Super Freak in M4 and layered gray, black, and red G10. These are about $190, but still, like, this is arguably Benchmade's best priced knife. Full-size knife, super capable. It's like a bigger, beefier Griptilian. I would prefer, instead of, you know, for $120, you can get a Griptilian, or you can upgrade, in my opinion, the FRN to the G10. In this case, it looks way better. And instead of S30V, you can get coated M4, which isn't going to work for everybody, but M4 with the edge retention of M390, not the same corrosion resistance, not a corrosion resistant steel, but way tougher. And because of the edge stability and the fact that you're less likely to get chips in the edge versus rolls, in my opinion, it's going to be easier to sharpen. So definitely those three best value under 200 right now. Under 250. It's going to surprise a lot of people. I just handled, you haven't seen the review on this yet, but it is done, and I have unboxed this. The MKM Gotcha, or Gassia, I'm not really sure exactly how to pronounce that. This is made in Italy. Titanium frame lock with a countersunk, titanium frame with a countersunk liner lock, which is excellent. M390 steel, made in Italy, titanium hardware. This is a wonderful knife. This is like a budget Shirogorov with the way that it looks. The only thing that I don't like about it is the goofy clip. And it's not like it doesn't function well, it just looks funny for the rest of the design, but the rest of the design is beautiful. And by the way, specifically the titanium version of this. You can get a less expensive version of it in the micarta, but I think 50 bucks more for titanium, that just feels a little better. I love that this is not a frame lock. It's a liner lock. So you can put your hands wherever you want on this thing, and you're not going to affect the, the flipping action. You're not putting excess pressure on any exposed lock bar because it's not exposed. It's countersunk underneath the titanium frame. Very smooth, very nice profile, very nice. The flipping action is great, fit and finish is great, the materials are great. This is hard to argue with. It's like $249. I think this is the best value knife under 250 bucks you can actually get right now. Alongside that, there's a whole bunch. Spyderco Kapara, now it's been bumped to $202. I still think it's one of Spyderco's best knives. I sure wish they'd upgrade the steel, but gosh, it's beautiful. Carbon fiber and that nice red backspacer. Phosphor bronze phosphor bronze washers, and it has the, what do you call that? The pivot bushing? Yeah. Pretty cool. Love that one. Also the ZT0640, if you can find it, it comes in and out of stock. I think people are starting to realize how much better value that is right now, considering it is titanium and M390 with carbon fiber for 240 bucks and made in the United States. $248, sorry. If you can find one, absolutely. The Demco 8015, I'm going to throw it in there, even though it is a little bit overpriced right now. It's really hard to argue with this because there's nothing else out there like it except for the actual Demco 8015, and that's going to run you $425 at base if you can find one, which you can't, right? So Scorpion lock, super great, heavy duty. The G10 version is awesome. S35VN, right? You're getting a lot here. This is made in Taiwan. I wish it was still 180 or so, but it isn't. It's 225, and given the competition, I'd still rather pay 225 for this than pretty much almost everything else out there in this price range. The ProTech Strider SNG Auto. Oh my gosh, yes, this is the coolest side opening automatic knife that ProTech makes right now, hands down. That's my opinion on that. USA made, 154 cm, but you get those Strider ergos, and listen, you want a real Strider, you're gonna pay $600 to $800, and good luck finding one, right? The automatic one, I own one in titanium, and it's awesome. 154 cm is an M390, but gosh, it'll work. US made, fantastic firing power on these things. This is still between 200 and 250 depending on the version of that you get. The Strider SNG by ProTech is definitely one of the best value knives under 250 bucks right now. And the final category, 300 or less. Say it with me, easily one of the best folding knives of all time, and easily one of the best, if not, I'm sorry, easily the best knife under $300. The ZT0562 Ti. Definitely. $280 US made based on the Hinder XM18. You guys have heard me sing this knife's praises since the beginning of the channel. If you don't want to go with titanium, go with the carbon fiber version. It's 20 bucks less and it's a little bit lighter. Either way, you can't go wrong. These are the best knives under 280 bucks. Hands down. USA made. Remember that. That's awesome, right? Moving on here with other alternatives, I'm going to do 3 OTFs. We haven't talked about any OTFs yet. For under $300, these are all US made. The Heretic Knives Manticore E coming in at about 8 inches and 280-ish, 85, something like that. Elmax and aluminum, great. The Guardian Tactical Recon 35 also coming in at very nearly 8 inches for about $280. Elmax and aluminum. Best firing action of any OTF on the market right now, thanks to that bearing switch that you can only get through Guardian Tactical. And then, of course, the other OTF alternative, the Microtech Ultratech, which isn't going to be the newest, shiniest thing, right? Especially as compared to the Manticore E or especially the Recon 35. But it does have the best materials. I mean, if you're going to reduce the value to just materials, you're going to get 204P or M390 on the Ultratech. You also you're going to have the most options when they're available, right? And it's a little bit longer at 8 1/4 inches. These come in at about $290 at base. Those are your very best value OTF knives on the market right now, because I don't I don't trust a lot of the stuff that's not made in the United States yet. But under $300, definitely. And then for alternatives that are not automatic knives, the ZT-0308, the standard version, coming in at about $299. This is ZT's best knife outside of the 05. I'm sorry, it's their best newer knife that they've come out with, I think around 2020, 2021, something like that. Big old hulking beast of a knife, G10 titanium bearings, 20 CV. Whoops. It's kind of younger brother to the 0300 series knives, right? Definitely. And I know a lot of you don't like that tan G10 on there. You can definitely get aftermarket scales if you want to spend a little bit more. So why not above $300? Truthfully, guys, if you're going to spend more than $300 on a knife, it's worth waiting until your choice of Chris Reeve, Rick Hinderer, or Andrew Demko actual production knives drop. Those are roughly $400 to $450 knives, but come on, if you're considering spending more than $300, then that's a little less scary than jumping from $100 to $200, even though it's about the same amount of money. And truthfully, there's not a lot I'm going to recommend over $300, even though we're talking, like, if let's talk about knives in the $350 territory, I'm still going to go, you should probably just save another 75 bucks and go with a Hinderer, right? Or another $100 and go with a Chris Reeve, right? If you can get your hands on a Demko 8020, I'm definitely going to recommend that over a lot of the stuff that starts at $300 and moves up. So that's why. We are limited in today's knife world. It's very difficult to find exactly what you want, really get a good sense of value. So if you're new, right, and you're coming into this knife world, it's, you know, the reason I wanted to do this is because we're kind of experiencing a scarcity of really, really excellent stuff. Fortunately, we're seeing some of that stuff come back, and there are still, you know, beyond that, there's still excellent knives to be found and to be had. I want to make sure that if you guys are picking up knives off the recommendation of this channel, that you're actually getting stuff that I think is good, because there's a lot of garbage out there, a lot of expensive garbage, and I'd rather people end up with something that they love, something that lasts, and something that works for, you know, a huge chunk of their life. So anyways, like I said, all this stuff is going to be listed right down in the description where you can easily find it. I hope that you were at least mildly entertained by this video. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you did enjoy this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives. They're either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.